won't you come over? Right now, once in your head, so you don't have to say it out loud. Take one step backwards, so we don't have to do this right now. Once it's all out, I will fall down. I know that it's been coming for a while I tried
Hello. Ah, where's the camera? There we go. All right. Hey, what's up? What is up? Is the volumes and stuff okay? Well. Mr. Revshell is in the chat, as always. Oh, we got so much to talk about today. Generally, excited about that, but also a bit scared because, yeah, I had a great vacation, man. It was I'm gonna be real. It's gonna sound stupid, but it was just too long, too much. I don't have any kids. With the whole Corona situation going on, just basically too much. Like too much time off. Honestly, I like to have something to spend my brain doing, like something to do, like work. I'm a workaholic, basically. Yeah. If I had kids running around, I'm sure would be different. But me and my fiance just just gets dead time. You get a lot of dead time. But I guess following up on Twitter this vacation, there it's this the last 4 weeks stuff has just been dropping on Twitter like it's been raining. Like new techniques there, new techniques there, exploits, new old days ever. It's just a lot of stuff going on Twitter these days. Yeah, so today, people, we're going to be talking about exploiting ADCS uh, from sort of an operator's perspective. We're going to be do. Is it though? I is it? It doesn't look to be on my side. Okay, well I can turn it up. I can turn it down in post production anyhow, but it looks pretty high on my side. So anybody else having thinking the mic volume is too low? Okay, well, one versus one. That you're basically gaining each other nothing here. So no worries. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so I mean, there is no way in hell I'm going to be able to sum up ADCS here and now in the best way possible. So if you don't, if you when I say exploiting ADCS, and if that doesn't ring anything for you guys, then I'm going to give you a link to both the blog post and the white paper by the guys over at Spectre Ops. So, so I think the initial blog post was called "Certified Pre-Owned." It was dropped actually back in June, so I think it was dropped early. Yeah, June 17th. Joy dropped that together with another individual, which is probably embarrassing. Lee Tifkin, Lee Christensen, and Harmjoy put this stuff together. Yeah. So let me link that and link the white paper, and then I'm going to try to give my best sort of short summary of this. You guys probably already know this. I mean, if you're here on the in the chat and watching this live, you probably already know what I'm talking about. But basically, there's this thing in AD called certificate authority or certificate service, which basically assigns certificates to objects in AD, and you can use them for authentication. That's like, I think that's maybe like the high level explanation of it. Nobody understands Kerberos. I mean, Kerberos. Nobody understands Kerberos. There's no point. Like one day you think you understand Kerberos, then the next day you just simply don't. I had that moment. I'm going to talk about that later on, but I had that Kerberos moment like a week back or something. And this is the white paper. Did I link that? Yeah, I linked it. And they talk about different ways of abusing, having an I think they call it like additional signed names to certificates. So low privilege users can request a certificate that would be valid on the domain controller and stuff like that. They talk about a bunch of different techniques, and they name them. God, I'm scrolling so fast trying to find this. They named them from ESC 1 and upwards, And the one we're going to be talking about is EC8, which is basically end-to-end relaying or authentication relaying to an ADCS HTTP endpoint and performing auto-enrollment or automated enrollment. Which means that most services on the network, or I mean most objects on the network, computers, users, can automatically request a certificate on their behalf as long as they are authenticated towards an endpoint. And there's we're going to talk about doing it using the web client on the local machine, so triggering authentication using the webDAV trick with UNC, and then we're going to talk about plain old NTLM relaying using Petit Potam, if I pronounce that correctly, or spool sample from a remote computer, and then just capturing it, and doing that from a beacon perspective. So Rastamouse made this incredible blog post. You see here, he probably isn't, that bastard. So Rastamouse made this, which is essentially what we're going to be doing in the second portion of this stream. It's basically a guide to how you can hijack port 444 when you run as a high integrity on the computer, and then you can redirect that back to your attacker machine, the one running your client connected to the team server in Cobalt, and then you can capture that and relay it back over SOCKS and do whatever you want. So we're going to be doing that towards ADCS. Okay, so I think that sort of kind of sums it up. Probably not great, but sort of kind of sums it up. And then let me show you the setup for this. So I have my lab running. I was initially going to use something called Snap Labs, which we have been using in TrustedSec. But due to some licensing issues, they won't allow Windows 10 machines. They only allow servers instances. And I need, for the 445 portion, I need to be running off a Windows 10 client. No, I did not. Feel free to share that. If you send it to me on Discord, I can share it in the chat. If you send it, it will be nuked, because it's a link, and we hate links. Okay, so let me share my screen. Let's hope this goes in. Okay, there we go. So this is the ADCS server that I set up. It's basically just a plain old vanilla Windows Server 2019. I joined it to the domain like you would a typical server and gave it an appropriate host name. And then I went into the server manager, add roles and features, next, and then found the Active Directory Certificate Services tab. And I believe when I first did this, it didn't show the sub-menu, so don't worry about that. Just click that and go next. And then once you set it up, it will ask you which ones you want to install. Just click the first 4 related to certification, certificate, and the ones for certification. And then you should get something like this. And then I basically just set up this server as a certificate authority and having it available for web enrollment. And that's that. So now you can technically, this server is now the certificate authority on the network. Then you have to go into the local group policy editor and you have to change to GPOs. So the first one is auto enrollment. It's under computer configuration, Windows settings, security settings, public key policies, and then certificate services client, auto enrollment. You enable that. Basically allows objects on the network to auto-enroll for a certificate, which is basically what we will be using. And once that's set up, you're basically done. Gonna go over to my lab machine here, and I'm going to make sure that we can reach the server, so we can just do a quick ping here. It's up and running. So that's the server setup. So I got the ADC server running, I got the domain controller, which will be our prime target during the stream, and then the lab machine, which will be our sort of initial access box, and then obviously an attacker machine. You can fairly say that my computer is maxing out RAM usage right now, streaming and hosting 4 individual. Yeah, I'm at 50 gigs of memory capacity right now. So that's solid. I have 64 in total, so. Okay, so let's get a beacon deployed first. I'm going to be cheating. I will not be dealing with Windows Defender. Simply because it's gonna cost me a lot of extra time, and we I'm not going to say we're short on time, but we want to do this in a very efficient manner. So I'm just going to straight up disable Defender. If you don't know how to do that, let me show you that real quick. So obviously you open the local group policy editor in the high privilege context. If I can type, there we go. And then you go to computer settings, Windows settings. Oh wait, now administrative templates. Sorry, Windows components, and then there should be something called Windows Defender Antivirus. And then you go to turn off Microsoft Windows Defender Antivirus, and you simply enable that policy. You can do the same for real-time protection. Just be sure turn off real-time protection. You enable that policy, and now it shouldn't, because if you just flick the switch, it will re-enable itself after a given time, and if you reboot or log back in, it's super annoying. So do that GP policy, and you're good. Okay, so now we're going to deploy Beacon. We're going to do it quick and dirty. So I already have a Cobalt Strike instance set up here. This is on my actual network, and then on the lab environment, it's in its own subnet. So all of them can reach back out to me, but I cannot reach back into them. So this is essentially isolated. Just wanted to make sure I'm not cheating in any way. And then you do what you should never do. You give it a stager. You should never host like breachable stagers in any way. That's super bad OPSEC. Don't do that. Block it out or disable it with the profile, the Cobalt Strike profile. Yeah, it's already running because I did some cheating before we started. Yeah, I mean, if you have specific proxy rules for it, sure, but generally I would either pull the staging out of Cobalt or just don't use stage. Just deliver. Initial access should be stageless. But I mean, yeah, if you can argument that you're following proper OPSEC, then sure, do whatever you want. Just call this ABC, launch that. We'll get a one-liner, copying that over to the lab here, and then we are off to the races. I'm gonna put this to sleep to 5 seconds. I'm gonna wait for initial callback. So for this first initial privesk, using ADCS, we are going to be using a tool that BatSec from MDKSec. Oh my god, did I butcher that? ADCS Pew and GitHub. BatSec from MDSec Active Breach, originally released, and then I made a pull request with some rather significant updates. So he was kind enough to allow me to be added as a proper contributor for the project. Basically, this invokes Petit Potam locally using that EFC RPC open RPC call, and then it authenticates back to localhost on a given port. And the way that's possible is using the WebDAV trick. So maybe we can show that in the source, or it's... Let's see if we can... Yeah, so the trick is basically a normal UNC, the host name. Yeah, so I'll explain why you probably couldn't get this working. So the host name, and then the... Yeah, right? And then the... fucking @ I'm gonna call it @ and then the port, and then you break it with a normal slash, and this will trigger the WebDAV. And that usually works on clients which have web clients running. Okay, so this is where the very specific portion for this privesk comes into. So generally Windows servers do not have a WebDAV redirectory installed. That's a feature that you have to specifically install, and then you have to enable the web client service that is then possible to do after you install that WebDAV redirectory. On Windows clients, the web client is installed, but it won't automatically boot by default. So you have to trigger it. You have to get it running. And now you might think, and then you're probably going to think to yourself, how on earth are you going to get web client running when that's definitely something you have to be high privilege user to do, right? Well, there's a trick to that. So I think Mr. Forshaw, oh my god, I'm butchering names left, right, center here, people. Be kind. Let me find that blog post. Oh my god, can I find it, please? Okay, give me a second. I gotta find the blog post. also I'm finding blog post. I promise. This is what a well-prepared streamer looks like, people. You missed so much. I haven't missed anything yet. We just got a beacon, basically. Okay, so this is the gist based on something Forshaw mentioned, I think. Yeah. And at the bottom here, you can see that you can actually trigger the web client by creating a file extension called search connector-ms. And when the Windows system interprets that file or opens it, it will start the web client as a low privilege user. That's one way to do it, and then Forshaw described the second way to do it using ETW triggers. I'm not going to go into that. Just do some research on that. I want to keep it on the low side, so I'm not going to do any major stuff about that. But just if you want to look into it, look into it. James Forshaw, ETW triggers. Basically, it's a way to enable the web client while you're running in a low privilege context. So in this case, it's already running. I can probably enumerate that, or I can definitely enumerate that from an operator perspective. Oops, wrong VM. Using our buffs that Chris released called situational awareness buffs that you can find on the Trusted Sec GitHub page. Basically allows you to query stuff using buffs. Allow proper enumeration. So I think there's a service buff here. Yeah, service query. So if we do service, if I can type, and then just do web client, we can see that the web client is indeed in a running state, which means that the ADCS Pune module from BatSec will work. That's probably what was missing in that lab, Revshel. So what we are going to do, this is pretty cool. So we are going to use ADCS Pune to get a certificate as the system account. We're going to take that certificate off system, and we're going to use SOX proxy and some Linux tools released by Dirkjan, PKI tit tools or whatever. PKI tit, PKI K tools or whatever. I'm going to link it later. To generate either the anti-hash or to get some TGS tickets that will be used, that we can use on that on any servers on the computer to gain Privesc or to gain system shell. That was a mouthful. Okay, so let's start off. So first off, we need the ADCS Pune pawn. Oh god, I said Pune. Oh my god, that's wrong. Please laugh at me. Pawn. Okay, so let's just pull that. I'm just going to pull down his repo and build that real quick, just off screen here. Of course, this is a lab, so I ain't really looking into the code I'm running on these machines. But if this was a real life situation, make sure that you go through the stuff you run on client machines. I'm telling you guys, one of these days, somebody is going to run a C# tool or any sort of easy to run executable on a client machine that they have no idea what does, and it's going to fuck stuff up in short terms. So be aware of what you run on client machines, man. Don't YOLO it. It's going to be a legal nightmare. Okay, so let me just find this compiled binary here. I don't know if you, yeah, you can probably can't see that. Give me a second. There we go. So I'm just gonna put that on the desktop, and then I'm going to do execute assembly. Oh yeah, I can type, and then that will probably just bring up the help menu. So you can see the help menu here, and all we really need is to just give it the address of the certificate service or certificate authority service running on the network. So let's just do that. Execute assembly again, and then the arguments will be --adc, and then adc.legitcorp.net. And this will give us a base64 encoded certificate for this computer account. Hopefully. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, so it got an authentication, redirected that, and then attempt to find any useful templates for the current user. Okay, I haven't gotten this before in the lab. That's interesting. Oh, did I reset this? Oh my god, I hope I didn't. Give me a second here. I'm just gonna reboot this. So that is weird, right? So I think I forgot the sacrifice to the gods or whatever, demo gods, right? That's unfortunate. Let's try again. One thing I should probably mention is that after you install that proper ADCS, I should probably reboot this as well. That's actually the issue. That should be, yeah, that's probably the issue. Let's reboot that after the ADCS. So once you actually promote that server to an ADCS or certificate authority, you need to reboot all other systems for that auto role engagement stuff to actually you need to reboot for them to fetch certificates. Okay, so we got a question here. Don't you need web client running on the DC, not the victim? Then you hit with a improvement indicate service back here. So if I was targeting the DC, that would be correct. But DCs and servers in general would never have, or it's a very low, most likely won't have web client running. Web client running would most likely, or it wouldn't even be running, but the services would in general be on clients. So the thing is that after we do this privesc, I'm going to use something called port bender to hijack port 445 and then redirect that to a local port on my attacker Linux machine on the other side of the world, if you want, and then redirect it back to get the certificate for that DC. You'll see later. But yes, if I were to target the DC, yeah, then if I were to target the DC with ADSC Pune, pawn, goddammit, I would 100% need the web client running. But I don't think that would even work because you can't bind. So since you're low privilege, you would definitely have trouble with the firewall because you can't bind to the local IP address when people can reach you because of the firewall. So that wouldn't work anyhow. At that point, you would roll. I mean, unless you were high privilege, then it would work. Okay. So I'm having some problems here with the ADCS service. What is this? Okay. I'm going to revert to a snapshot here on that CS server and hopefully it works. I just love having problems midstream. It is generally... I just love it. Okay, so let's... I guess we could try to rerun it, but I think I need to reboot the client. Also, freaking Pfizer knocked me the fuck out yesterday. Pfizer just straight up blasted me yesterday, dude. Yeah, I got those two on Friday, on early Friday, and I didn't really feel anything until I went to bed on that same day. I went to bed and I started getting, fever and, that all that normal stuff, right? So I wasn't worried or anything, but it just sucks getting a fever when you're trying to sleep because you won't be able to sleep. Dude, yeah, and now I'm still sweating. Like, I'm still having the heat sort of, the sinus curve of heat, cold heat all the time. So I'm sweating. Like, I'm drained right now, but, you gotta do what you gotta do. I promise to stream, right? But yeah, those two, I'm really happy about it though. I'm gonna, in next year when stuff is great, I'm gonna fucking travel my face off. Okay, so now we lost the shell. That's to be expected. What is this? Okay, okay, I think I know what it is. Nope, wasn't that. Okay, wait. Do I have it? Yeah, nice. Oh my god, why is you... I disabled you with the GP policy. How are you alive, Defender? Cool, cool. Okay, so we got an error. Teslas can fly? That would be great though. Okay, we got a new one. I'd make that one sleep. Let's make that interactive. Let's go. Okay. Let's actually just run the binary straight while we're debugging at least. Let's just straight up run it. So there we go. It found, okay, so it found templates, but it, okay, yeah. So it can't make out what template it wants to use for this computer. I know which template it should use because I tested this in the lab. I probably have a screenshot of that. So let me figure out what template was in use there. I think it was the... if there's a template called machine, I think it was that. God damn, I'm sweating up. I'm burning up. Can't find it. Okay. Yeah, okay, so I don't think the web client service is running now. I need to run that. Oops. I also think machine was the one it initially used. Can we specify the search? Do we have to make a pull request? I just love it when stuff doesn't work. Come on. Can't we like browse the templates? Oh my god. Is this an AD issue maybe? Okay, so there's definitely something wrong with our ADS setup here. I think it's because of some authentication stuff. Logon attempt fails. Oh, okay. Are we running? It's always DNS, right? Well, we have set the correct DNS. And this is the correct DNS. So this, now it was complaining about not being able to reach it. Okay, so what we'll do is that we'll log out and log in as a domain admin. Can we like switch user, sign out? god. English keyboard. If I don't have access to the freaking thing now, I don't know what to do. I'm a domain admin, goddammit. There we go. Thank you. Now I access to this. Okay. Okay, you guys get to see the setup. So I don't know why this got reverted. But for some reason, this got reverted. Maybe I fucked up some snapshot or something earlier. Never mind. Okay, so this is... No. Okay, so I think after you install the feature, you go in, then you click these two, you reboot, and then you can enable these two. And then you best select the authenticator that you want to use for CA name, computer name. Let's just use the CA name. Sure, Windows integrated authentication. Sounds great. Oh, okay, yeah, I remember this. I think you're supposed to create a dedicated service account for this. Oh yeah, okay. I remember this. I remember running into these errors. I'm a sysadmin now. Don't ask. Okay, let's see what happens now. I have a feeling I might have to reboot some computers again. Oh, come on, don't be a dick. Okay. What do you mean I don't have fucking permissions to open GP Edit? Security settings, public key, oops. Enabled. Apply. Well, this is sad. I'm gonna give it another reboot. This is so weird because the initial setup legit took me 30 minutes to get working. So I have a sad feeling we might have to like create a new server or something. Let's reboot the lab again as well. There's no... Those services are apparently running. Yeah, because these are the certificates I issued earlier. I hope we don't have to cheat and just use these. That would be a lame. Yeah, because these are based on the computer machine certificate. And that certificate definitely exists. Do you think this is something wrong with the latest ADC pawn? Let me see if I can like make a quick modification here to see if I can specify the template I want to use. Because it gets 34 Yeah, there we go. It brute forces the certificate templates. So it tries each one of them. So that's a bit weird that none of them gives a hit. Damn. Nothing can stop Defender. That isn't there anymore. Hmm. Denied by Polish module. There's request for statement that is not supported by Active Directory certificate services. What is this? The request was for a certificate template that is not supported by the Active Directory certificate templates. But hmm. Sure, that makes sense. It does not. Try again here. I also have to enable that web client again. That would be my fucking luck though. For sure. They saw me going live and were like, let's fix this now. Come on. There we go. Worked. Fuck yeah. Okay, we're back on track, people. Whew. Okay, so step one complete. So what this is the base 64 the base 64 encoded PFX certificate for this computer account. So what we can do is that we can take the certificate, and there's multiple ways to do it. So you can do it. You can actually do it straight out in Ruby now. So or you always have you always could, but now we can do it with the certify stuff as well. So let's take a look at certify. No, not like execute assembly. Where is it? Sharp collection. Let's do. I guess we can do any. Let's just execute assembly. This certify. Let's take a look at that help menu. I'm just gonna copy that out. I'm just gonna move that to a mouse pad. So we got the certificate. Let's take a look at certify. Using requested certificates. So, Okay, this is just for the certificate portion, so we have to use Rubius anyhow. Sorry, my bad. I thought Certify also had that. For Rubius, it's... why did I hear a pling? Yeah. For Rubius, I think it's dash user, and that would be the computer account, so that's going to be desktop blah blah blah. And then the magical thingy, which... this one. And then you gotta do slash certificates. Copy that long certificate. We're gonna wait before we paste that. And then if you do patch the hash, that TGT will be in your memory. If you don't, then it will just show it. And if you want to copy it out, you have to use no wrap. So I guess so. This is actually more useful for the DC part. I can show you why this isn't useful. Yeah, I need to ask TGT obviously as well. Thank you. But I can show you why this isn't useful now. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can get this. Client not trusted. I have gotten this before as well. I can't recall why. Okay, it's an auto-enroll issue. Let's request a new one then. I think actually because so I could show you this, but since we spent a lot of time wasting debugging this, the issue is that even if you get a even if you request a TGT with reviews and then you do S4 yourself afterwards to request a TGS for any servers on that computer account, you can't do anything. And the reason is that when you do anything to a local, when you try to use TGS on your own local host, Windows will recognize it and will skip the whole Kerberos authentication part. So even if you get the TGS for say CIFS and you want to place a file in System32 or read whatever file, you can't because Windows will skip the Kerberos authentication. I was fooled for like days for this because I couldn't understand why it wouldn't do that. And the only way I found that to be able to use those locally is if you get the TGS for VSMon and HTTP, then you can start an interactive PowerShell session into VS Manager locally. That will work. That will use Kerberos authentication, and you will get a shell as whatever account you impersonated. So that works. That's great. But the only way to do it to other services would be to do it from a Linux doing SOX proxy. So that's what I'm going to show you here because that's more relevant in the Privesk. Okay, so first off, we need to start a SOX proxy. So let's just do that. SOX server. Let's use some weird port 9090, whatever. And then we need to configure. Oh my God, what happened here? Okay, why is this small? Then we need to into proxy chains, and then we change that port to 9090. So anything that we now throw into this port can reach the same network as that machine. Then we want to fire up our own Python virtual environment because we're going to be installing the sort of a very bleed copy, so or a bleed edge copy of Impacket. So initially this was the packet repo I think everybody used for ADS relaying. I can now see that it has actually been branched with master. But just to show you what you would do, like there's probably going to be other cases where somebody pushes something very early in their own Impacket fork and you want to use that. You might want to use that on a system that have a ton of other dependencies. So I'm going to just do this now to show you how to not break stuff. But basically, you would create your own Python environment, virtual environment. So first you have to install Python virtual environment. You have to use sudo for that, obviously, now on Kali. And then you just create an environment. So I'm just gonna call this. I'm typing in my cheat sheet off screen here. So after you install that, okay. Oh my God! Please stop hurting me. I haven't done anything to you, Kali. Be nice. I have to do update now. Please be nice. Please be nice. Thank you. And then we create our own little environment called Impacket environment. And then we activate that environment by using the source command, the environment name, and /bin/activate. So now we are in our own little container of sorts, which we can install whatever Python dependencies we want, such as a fork of Impacket. We are fucking stuff up. So let's just clone this down. And then I think it's just pip3 install this. I probably need sudo for this. Probably should use sudo for this. We'll see if we get any issues. And that's it. So now we can use the NTLM relay. We're going to use the NTLM relay later. But for this, now that we got the certificate, we actually only need Dirkan's tools. And I don't think Dirkan's tools at all fucks up with in-packet stuff, does it? We'll see. We'll see. So this is PK tits. This is what I call PK tits over. Okay, so we want to use. Let me link his. So his amazing blog post is here on basically how to do this. I have a cheat script that I will share with you. It's a nice little cheat script that basically automates all of this stuff. It's not great by any means, but let's just do that. So 0 to hero.py, and then I gotta go into my actual VM here, so I don't want to fuck anything up. So give me a second. Just hiding stuff. Where is this? I can't even recall. Probably inside his tools. So tools. There we go. ADCS 0 to hero. And this is not anything fancy. It's just basically staging all the three. In that blog post, he describes 3 commands, or 2 commands you have to run to get the TGS for whatever service you want, and then the third command he doesn't show, but how I would use this in a local PrivX context. So this doesn't look to contain anything dangerous. I'm just going to copy that over to the real VM. Okay, let's shoot again. Shelly. Okay, so this is basically just a wrapper for those commands, and it uses proxy chains straight into a subcommand, or definitely not the best way to do it, but it works. And then it just finishes off with vmexec, which is I guess one way to do it. You could use those whatever, but in this case it gets the host TGS, which can be used with vmexec. So let's save this bad boy and then just look at it. So looks like this obviously didn't show you any commands. There we go. So specify the domain, that would be legitcorp.net. Specify the account, so that would be the computer account that we are coming off. I do believe we're supposed to give it, I can't recall if I built it with the weird letter or not. I can actually just look at the source, but I think I did not. I think I did. Yeah, okay, I think I did not. Then the DCIP. So the way we could do this is, I think there's in our remote BOFs, there's a query to check for recent DNS queries or regions DNS caches, cache DNS requests or something. Let's see. So let me see if I can find that out of curiosity. Okay, I can't seem to find that now. Okay, let's just use that and look up that. Yeah, so that's what I'm debating. I'm gonna check the source. I can't recall if I added that in the source code myself or if I need to add it. We'll see. Oh, yo, so a pro tip for actually. So nice things for a start, because I hate to fill up my CLI with like 50 lines of base64. So what you can do is you can just call it like desktop, make a file called desktop search, and then you can just copy that from this over here. And then when you do the command execution, So I have to specify the certificate head, right? So dash search, you can just do this. And then just cat out search. Desktop search, that is. Oh, I didn't make that there, of course. Where is that document? So, desktop search. There we go. Instead of filling up the CLI with that. And then the command you would like to run on that system. I believe if you don't give it a command, you will get an interactive shell. The SOC stuff is just... I'll probably clean this up before release. Let's see if that works. No such file directory. What are we complaining about? The client trust failed or is not implemented. Okay, let's give this a third reboot. Jesus. Did you ever get past this part, RevShell? Did you know how you got around the that last error? So the same drill. God, I'm getting tired of this now. It's weird that services just straight up don't ask for admin. Oh my god. I'm blaming all this on Pfizer. Oh my god, the inability to type. That's all Pfizer people. I did get 5G though, which is pretty nice, I have to admit. I mean, having 5G for MRAM to whatever extent, pretty nice, you know. Can't complain about that part. Cannot complain about that part. So let's just sleep through that. Oh. And then let's view proxies. Stop that 9090. Let's start a new one. 9090. Okay. Attempt fucking 5. Jesus. If this doesn't work, we are cheating, people. We are cheating. Woo! Okay. So let's just look at the errors that we got. And let me just real quick Google them to see what the issue might be. So we did issue one using the computer certificate. Is that something else? Okay, let's try once again, people. Let's try. Using the same cert probably won't work. No, it won't. Has no support for pre-authentication. That's a new one at least. But I do think I need to re-request that. I'm just gonna take a look at the source here to make sure that I don't need that extra dollar. That it adds that. It does actually add that, so I don't think that's correct. I do have all the stuff: domain, account, DCIP, the certificate. The command to execute isn't important. Cool. Okay, let's try this again. So we need to re-request some stuff. So where's that last speaking command here? So that's that. I'm that lazy. Try again. That runs real quick. That gives me high hopes. Okay, let's please be nice. Oh, okay. It's that day. It's that day of the year where nothing fucking works. Oh, I think I need to reboot the domain controller because that hasn't been auto enrolled. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that would have been way easier than rebooting, right? I think somebody posted that command on Twitter. I was thinking about it, but I wasn't going down the rabbit hole of finding that specific Twitter message. But thank you. I will try that instead of rebooting all the time now. I actually have a companion here today. He hates the thunder. It's been pretty bad weather here today, and he's a really brave dog. But when thunder comes, he is not a very brave dog. He's a scared doggo. Not happy with that at all. Not happy with that at all. 7 services? Whatever. I'm gonna do that command now just to make sure that everybody's got that policy. That should be fine. This should be fine. Okay. Let's try again, right? Try harder. Thank you. Okay. Let's try again. Come on. Come on. Fuck yes. That's about damn time. Whoop. Okay, so it worked now. So until now, we're basically just been debugging ADCS. So if you're watching this on YouTube, hopefully this has some tricks and tips for getting your stuff working as well. But it works now. Awesome. Okay. The last complaint here was just that it couldn't find VME exec. So we're just gonna point it to the correct place for that. Okay, which makes sense that this would be in this. That doesn't matter. Why doesn't it find VME exec? Okay, sure. We'll just point it to this. So Python 3 home documents, Kali, documents in packet, examples. Okay, people. Some tips here. So the dash debug argument for any in packet module is so fucking undervalued. It's amazing. It would legitimately tell you if you ever having issues with any in packet script, do dash debug. It will straight up tell you what the issue is. Right, because especially in this scenario, if you don't use the correct, like if you request a certificate with the short domain reference and you try to log in using the long domains reference, things will just not work. So dash debug is gold. Let's try again, people. I think I have high hopes for this one. No, I do not have high hopes for this one. God damn it. Everything I said about visual environment and stuff, just forget it. There we go. Finally, okay. Finally. We should get code execution on this machine now. Okay, so that's correct because it didn't give it a command. So now we can just give it a command. I guess it's appropriate to give it that PowerShell stager. So let's just create a new PowerShell stager. System. Oh, that's gonna be difficult. Let's not do that. Let's remove this instead. This should give us interactive, and then we can just pop a new system session, and then we can get going to actually compromising the DC. So again, what this does is that it requests a ticket granting ticket for this computer account, the TGT, and once you have that, you can create you can create a TGS for any service, you know. So that's like host, HTTP, VSMon, CIFS, any service like that, which then would probably correlate to some actual service running on the computer, like SMB, like Windows Remote Management, stuff like that. For the computer account, they will always be valid because it is the computer account that assigned it. So right now, if you do who am I, probably won't get an output because it's, yeah, we got an output. Okay, so now we are actually the administrator account on this computer because we created a service, a ticket granting service for whatever account we want. It would always be valid as long as we give it, as long as it's the computer account that issued it. So now we can run any command we want as administrator. And god damn it, am I going to create another one of those? Yeah, I am. There we go. So now this should give us an administrator session. Awesome. And now comes the cool part. So now that we are actually high integrity on this computer, we can use something called port blender to take traffic coming to 445 and redirect them to whatever local port we want, and then we can redirect that again back to our actual client running here, Linux client. Okay, so let's set this up. First, we need to start our custom version of NTLM relay through proxy chains. Through proxy chains, Python 3, NTLM examples, NTLM relay. And then I'm gonna take a quick peek in my cheat notes here. I think I have something. There we go. Okay, where is that? I don't have it there, but I have it here. Okay, so the target is our web or the server that you are allowed to enroll to, which gives out certificates. So that would be our ADCS Legit Corp. But since we are running off Linux in a proxy chain, we want that IP. So let's do another NS lookup. Doesn't really matter which one we do this from. So ADS.legitcorp. That's which would be this. Then we would target cert SRV search service, cert fns.acp. Subscribe. Thank you so much for the subscription, Pablo. Just run cert util on the shell. Oh, to get the information about the certificate authority. Yeah, to enumerate, sure. I noticed that was it BS? No, what's their name again? Somebody released an enumeration tool for it. I can't recall what. And then dash SMB2 support, ADCS, and then the template. And I'm not too sure about what template we should choose here, but in my cheat sheet, I choose Kerberos authentication. I think we can use the machine one as well. Did I write that right? Kerberos authentication. Authentication. Yeah, I think that's right. And when okay, that's not great that you don't recognize those. Oh, was I in the wrong branch? Maybe no. Okay, actually, I think I need to, yeah, I need to check out the correct branch here. And then it should be fine. Yeah, okay, then I need to reinstall. Okay, sudo, yeah, that's correct. And then I just need to sudo that. Okay, sudo pip install this. So I forgot to set the branch. There we go. Others in already in use. Yeah, okay, so apparently we have something running on 445. I just think I ran it. Address already in use. Is it because I'm trying to start an 480 server as well? Hmm. Is it because of the interactive shell, maybe? We can, by the way, kill this, doesn't matter. Yeah, I think that was it. Okay, weird. Okay, so there should be relay, probably because I have port 8 open here. So, where's that? Where's the freaking hosting here? I never use staging, so I have no idea. Manage, there we go. It's all these. There we go. Okay, so now NTLM Relay is running. It's targeting the correct web enrollment server. We're saying, okay, use this template when you create a new certificate, and we're porting it through proxy chains. So anything that goes into this will hit the ADS server or the ADCS server on the client network. But now we have to get authenticated, we have to get something to relay. You have to get something to us. And that's where this amazing blog post by Rastamas comes in, which I, again, will link you if I already haven't. And it basically says that you can use something called Port Blender to take over 445 and redirect it to a local port, which you can then forward. Okay, so let's do a local port forward on this high privilege account. Let's do get system first. So we indeed our system, and then let's forward from, so that's RP port forward, a local one. I want to forward, basically, you can choose any port here. Let's do 8888. And then we want to forward to our machine, this Linux machine, which would have IP this. Let's type that one. 192.168.1.207, right? Yeah, 207. And then, of course, we want that inbound to do 445. And now that's fine. All we need now is to prepare to run port bender. Okay, so let's check out the port bender site here. Looks like this. There are multiple other options, but this one comes with an aggressor script, which is awesome. So let's just clone this. And I think, actually, let's download the latest release if that has it compiled, because we're lazy right now. Yeah, awesome. That is everything we need compiled. Let's just put that here for now. And then we need to upload that driver. So we need to cd into Windows System 32 drivers. And then I think we can check that. Yeah, and then we can just upload. And then we go to home, Kali, downloads, upload that 64-bit version because we are running on the 64-bit system with a 64-bit beacon. So upload that driver. And then we need to import that CNA script. So let's go to scripts and just load that right in, which is, yeah, CNA there, port bender. And now from this session, we should be able to redirect from 445 to whatever local port on this machine, 8888. And then from that 8888 to 445 on our machine, through the team server, through the client, and back to our machine here, which NTLM relay will pick up and then use SOX proxy to hit the ADCS server and get us our certificate for the domain controller. So now we have to target the domain controller with, you know, we can use either spooler service, spool sample, or petit potam. I guess petit potam is the most adequate, or is the most, you know, sort of, I guess the one that makes sense right now, right? Everybody's talking about it, so let's get that as well. It's petit potam, right? I'm not saying that wrong. I probably am saying that wrong, but yeah, okay, yeah, it's correct. Let's just clone that down to our documents folder. Get in there. Oops. Oh my god, typing would be great. And then Python 3, petit potam.p. Petit potato, that would make sense as well. And so we're gonna try this without creds, but if you have issues with creds, just give it creds if you have any. Usually solves it. So we're basically gonna give it a listener, which would be this IP right here, right? So I guess we could just NS lookup ourselves. We have the IP 138, so the listener IP would be 192.168.58.131, and then the target IP would be the DC. So I think we did that earlier, but I actually know the IP, so I'm just gonna type it in: 192.168.58.111. And then we got to give this, obviously we got to send this through proxy chains because this ain't our local network. So this will trigger authentication on the domain controller. It will hit our beacon, which we don't have control of the traffic yet. I'll show you how to do that right now. So port bender, let's just type help in front of it to show. Port bender, redirect traffic from 445 to 88888. It's up and running. Let's trigger petit potam. It's gonna say failed to inject packet a couple of times. It shouldn't be a major issue. Just have to keep rerunning it basically. So there we go. We got authentication. Come on, and we got a certificate. So now we have. We can stop this now. So now we have basic 64 encoded certificate for the computer account of DC01, which is cool. Now we can take this. We can go back to our pkins tools. That's nano dc underscore cert.txt. And then we use that instead. So that's going to be DC. Like that. And obviously we have to change the account name. The account name is now DC01. And this should give us high level access on the domain controller. So we can create a new this on port 81 just to not mess up with. So we are now admin on the domain controller. We can run our PowerShell command and we are administrator in the domain. Yeah, we don't need to read that. We can just do send them. There we go. So that's the full path right there. Yeah, it's a 1 minute intro right now. Yes, I am going to upload this video to YouTube, if not redo it. I mean, this was way too much of a hassle to showcase. But in general, again, so we're landing on a beacon. We're using the same technique to do local privilege on the machine by triggering authentication locally, using WebDAV to be able to capture that on the port we control, bind it to localhost. With that certificate, we can request a TGT. With that TGT, we can request a TGS and spoof it to any account. So we can, since it's issued by the same machine account we are attacking, we can make that TGS on behalf of any user we want. So say the administrator, and then to get back to our initially compromised host, we now have a system. We can now sniff packets from 445. So there we go, we dumped everything. We can now sniff packets from SMB, redirect them to another local port on that the same initial compromised machine, forward that back to ourselves, trigger authentication from the DC, capture that, forward that again to the ADCS, get the certificate for the domain controller, request the TGT for that, request the TGS for whatever, and get access to the domain controller. It's a mouthful. It's a path with a big P. But it's so cool because in generally, all you need for this to be viable is that the domain you're landing on needs to have auto enrollment enabled. That's it. Obviously, it needs to have a DCS certificate authority, certificate services running at all in the domain, but it just needs to have auto enrollment enabled. That's it. There's no other misconfiguration of templates. It just needs to have auto enrollment enabled, and of course, yeah, that's it. That's it basically. That's basically all you need. Yeah, and we compromised the domain that way. I'm sorry about the initial. I mean, I ran through this in the same lab, exact same stuff in my own VMs last week. So I don't know why ADCS suddenly decided to fuck up, but yeah, it worked in the end. So I'm definitely going to just release this little handy script, this little Python stuff. It is a mess. So I would, if somebody wants to, you know, do anything with that, or I'll probably update it myself. But yeah, it's super dirty, but it works. Cool. Whew. Goddamn, Pfizer kicking my ass. I blame all this on Pfizer. Let me get this on jest. Yeah, I'll release this sometime after the stream. Whew. Well, awesome. So I think that's it. We did it in 1 hour and 25 minutes. A solid like 40 minutes of those are just plain frustration troubleshooting ADCS. So that music is from Monster Cat. It's just a playlist that I've put together. I don't. Can I share it? I probably can. It's just Monster Cat music basically. I pay like $5 a month to have a license there, so I have some music in the background. Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I think actually we peaked with about 25 viewers, but that was during the worst troubleshooting, so that sucked. Could have gone way better there, but sure, awesome. I think that's going to be it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Next week, I don't know. I'm not sure what we'll do next week yet. Yeah, I'm not sure. There's so much cool stuff being released, especially around DEFCON times. So might go into something there. Might play around with. Actually, we might play around with Rastamouse new C2 called Sharp C2, which he finally released during his talk creating a framework. It's this. Probably going to be my new go-to. I mean, I've been using Posh for a while now, but I mean, Rastamouse is a really solid dev. He has real love for his projects, so I might go into that. Yeah. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm sorry it got a bit out of hand here, but yeah, not much I can do about that right now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to tune in the same time next Sunday. So I stream every Sunday. Now it's I just changed the times after coming back from vacation. So the new times now are 12 EST or 4 UTC. So 4 p.m. UTC is my new stream time every Sunday. So thank you so much for joining in or tuning in. See you next Sunday. Bye bye.